I wanted to share with you my 21 books that I got for my 21st birthday, which was completely not planned. I got gifted all of these books that I'm going to show you by friends and family. Some of these books came from a day I spent with my nana. We went to all the bookstores in my city. Well, not all of them, there's too many, but we went to 3 bookstores in my city and we made a day of it, and it was really beautiful. And so I got a fair amount of these books from there. Some of these books came from a friend who gave me a gift card for my birthday, and so I bought those. And some of them came from when my mum, I and our whole family went to Tasmania. I got gifted a few books for my birthday from down there, and one came from me for my birthday. I bought myself one. Okay, so I wanted to get in and tell you all about it. I am so excited to read all of these books. Now, let's get started. I want to talk about these a bit later, so maybe I should I'll start with them. These are the books that I'm currently reading. This is a series I'm currently reading. This is a series that I can't put down and haven't felt this way about a series in the longest time, probably 8 years to be exact. When I read The Hunger Games for the first time, I've fallen in love with these. This gives me the same feeling that I felt reading those books. And the fact that this has more and more to come is so exciting. Anyway, so I wanted to tell you about it. The first book in this series is A Court of Thorns and Roses. The whole series is named after this first book. This series starts with Freya, the main character. She is a mortal or a human, and she shoots a huge wolf. Yeah, I loved every second of this book. I really like the politics in this book. I like the magic element to this book. I like that they're fairies, they're not humans, that they have their own territories, that, you know, the love interests in these books. I just love all of it. Like, I really do. And these books now feel like home, and I probably only read them for like a month and a couple of days. So the fact that when I will finish this, I will probably want to reread it is really funny to me. But I absolutely adore these. The only thing I have to say about them is that they're open door romance. If you are not into open door romance, I wouldn't recommend these to you. However, if you are, and if you are into fantasy romance, I highly recommend. Okay, let's move on to the next author. Colleen Hoover. I've only read one book from Colleen Hoover's collection. The book that I've personally read was Ugly Love. The reason why I picked up some more books from her is that I really liked that book as, like, you know, a fast read. I was completely enthralled by it. I really loved every second of it. Was it always an easy read? No, there was some hard topics in Ugly Love, and I really liked Ugly Love, and I'm hoping that I do like these ones as well. Now, these two romances are very different. This one, Verity, is a thriller romance, which I don't know how she does it. Like, I don't understand. I'm sure I will. But this is about a ghostwriter writing for this highly acclaimed author, and she can't finish the last book in the series. And I don't know what else. But doesn't that sound really intriguing? And the fact that it's a thriller just makes me question more. And so, yeah, that's all I know about this. It Ends With Us is a book that I really didn't think I was going to pick up ever. And then I decided to pick it up. So, this book is about a domestic violence relationship and moving past it, and how the main character deals with it. And I'm really intrigued by it. It's definitely a triggering topic. It definitely will not be an easy read, but I really want to see her take on it, and I really want to see what she does with it. And I'm really excited to read this one, actually. Now, the next author that I picked up was Taylor Jenkins Reid. I love her books. Now, I have read this book before, and I loved it. I gave it 5 stars, but I didn't have a physical copy of it. And I want to be able to reread it and tab sections and annotate and be able to pick up wherever I want to pick up in this book. I'm really excited to reread this. Now, if you haven't heard of this one is about Daisy Jones and the Six, which Daisy Jones is a singer and the Six is a band, and it's about how they came together and rose to fame, and then how their career went while they were together until they broke up, and the reasons why. This has the 70s theme, I'm pretty sure, no, 80s, I think? No, 70s, sorry, 70s and 60s. It's so much fun. I vividly saw so many scenes in here as I was reading. It's gorgeous. I honestly fell in love with Daisy Jones. It's a really great book. Also, with this book, it's super easy because it's written in dialogue, and normally I question that. I really wanted to see how she wrote about it and how that would work, and I really liked it. I liked how all the characters had different opinions on the different events that happened, and it's just, you almost hear them like it's an interview as you read, and it's really, really beautiful. The next one I picked up, I haven't actually read this one from her. I have read all of her newer ones. I've read Daisy Jones and the Six, I've read The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, and I read Malibu Rising. 2 of those I gave 5 stars, which is Daisy Jones and the Six and Evelyn Hugo, and then Malibu Rising I gave a 4. I just didn't connect to it as much, but it's still a very good read. And I really wanted to try this one and see what her earlier reads are like, and a lot of people have been talking about this one, and I've wanted to pick it up because it's so interesting, and it's such an interesting take on a romance. It's about this woman and her partner, or her husband, I think. He went on a helicopter and the helicopter crashed and he died. She moved on and fell in love with someone new and got engaged. Then she got a call, and it was him. It was her husband that had died, and he never died. He was alive and well, and she has to decide what to do with her life. Now, this is no spoilers. I'm pretty sure this is in like the first 50 pages. It's definitely on the back. And how interesting is that? Like, don't you want to know what she does? My partner and I, we were talking about it, and we were talking what would happen if like that was us, what decisions we would make, and I want to hear what the character makes. Was it set up? Was it planned? Like, I have a lot of questions. Okay, to our last author that I have gotten multiple books for, and this is Emily Henry. These are 2 romance books. She's a romance writer, and these are supposed to be incredibly beautiful books. The first one is Beach Read. This one is about 2 authors who live next to each other. They both have writer's block, so they swap each other's genres and they take each other on adventures, and that sounds really beautiful. Sounds like such a fun read. I want to actually read this when we're getting closer to summer, or I'm missing summer, whatever it may be, because right now I'm in winter, and so I'm waiting a little bit for this one. But this one is about these 2 people. They are best friends, and they took each other on holidays every year for I think 12 years, until something happened and you find out what happened and why they're not talking anymore. And so this sounds really fun as well. Okay, I have picked up my first Murakami Norwegian wood. I'm really excited. I have no idea what this is about. From memory, I think that somebody told me that it was a coming of age story. So I'm really excited to read it. Yeah, I have nothing else to say about it other than that that's all I know, and I really don't want to know too much about it. I picked up Ocean Vuong. This is On Earth We're Briefly Gorgeous. Ocean Vuong is a poet, and this is his first novel, and I'm really excited to read this. This is a letter to his illiterate mother, or the character's illiterate mother, and I've read a few pages, and as I was reading, all I wanted to do was cry. The words in here are beautiful, and I'm really excited to finish. I just wasn't in the right headspace to finish this one. Now, my mum and my nan got me this beautiful editions of classic books. Look at these beautiful. Sorry, I can't contain myself. Look at these beautiful, beautiful books. How gorgeous are they? So these are illustrated by Klara. I think that's how you say her last name. But look how beautiful these are. So my auntie picked up the Jungle Book for me, which is so gorgeous. I'm so excited to one day read this to my children, because I will be keeping this for a long time. But so I got the Jungle Book, The Wind in the Willows, The Secret Garden. I have been dying to read this book for so long. I remember trying to read this book when I was younger, and because it was just written in a different, I guess you would call it a different dialect, because it was Old English. No, it wasn't. It was like older English, not necessarily today's modern English. And so I struggled a fair amount with it, and I ended up giving up. But I still really want to read this. I remember just being enchanted by it, and that I just loved all the descriptions, but I just couldn't keep going. So I'm really excited to read this book, read this one. And then my nan gifted me Black Beauty. How gorgeous. Now, none of these books I have read. I haven't read any of them. I haven't even read The Wind in the Willows, which is crazy, and I'm really excited to just be transported into another world. And they're so gorgeous. Okay. The next classic my nan got me. She got me a collection. This is Little Women, and there's also Little Men and Joe's Boys in here. How beautiful is this book? It's so gorgeous. The gilded edges, they're really beautiful, and I'm really excited to read this. I've wanted to read Little Women for such a long time, and so being able to have this beautiful book with the inbuilt, what do you call it? Bookmark? Oh, it smells so good. Anyway, how pretty is it? And then I got a first edition of the Jungle Book. It's so gorgeous. My mum got me this one for my 21st birthday. I was so hard to buy for this year, and I know I was. And so we actually went in an antique store in Tasmania, and I saw this and I was like, oh my god, this is beautiful. And my mum said, oh, go and look at the fairies over there. And so I went to look at the fairies over there, and she picked out this book for me, and it's really beautiful. It was previously owned by Joseph, the Prime Minister of Australia, and his son, I think, and I think his name is Barry Loynes. His mother wrote in it, and it says, with love, from his mother, July 20th, 42. So how cute. Finally, we're getting close to the end. We're getting close, I tell ya. Okay, so the next book that I picked up was A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. I have wanted to read this book, and sometimes I get into moods for mystery books, not really thrillers as much. So I thought I'd pick this up, and it's a YA mystery, so I'm not gonna get super duper scared. But yeah, I'm really, really excited to read this one. This one, from my understanding, it's about a girl. She has a major work to do for school, like her major piece, and so she decides to do it on this mystery of a boy who was killed from her school a few years ago, or maybe 10 years ago. I don't really remember how long ago it was, and it's a cold case, and so she wants to discover who it is. And anyway, she gets pulled into it, and that's all I know. The next one is Klara and the Sun. I think this is a sci-fi, which is just completely out of my normal picking. The main character is a robot, and it's a discovery on how humans think and how humans perceive the world through her eyes, and I think it's really interesting. That's all I know about it, and I kind of want to go into it blind. The next one is A Starless Sea by Erin Morningstone. I'm so excited to read this. This is, I don't really know how to describe it to you, but I don't even know. How do I describe this? So the book is set with this main character. He finds a book and he finds out that it's on his life, and it's supposed to be really confusing and really topsy-turvy, and I love those sorts of books. So that's all I know about it. Yeah, that's all I know about it. I'll tell you when I read it, to be honest. The next one is a memoir. I haven't ever read a memoir, and I thought I'd start here. It's Crying in H Mart. This book is about grief when her mum passed and an exploration of that, I think. I'm really excited to read this. I truly don't think that a memoir or a self-help book can be put into a 5-star or anything. It's a personal exploration of something in their world, and I feel really uncomfortable with rating a book like this. So I won't tell you like in numbers what I think, but I'll tell you how I feel about it when I read it. And then finally we have Atomic Habits. I actually have started reading this one a little bit. I'm going through and highlighting. This one is about habits and how we create habits, and why small habits like atomic habits are superior to big, huge goals, and how to get to these big, huge goals by creating small, minute, almost indistinguishable habits, changing slightly. And I think that's really cool. From what I've read, it is a really interesting exploration of habits and this person's understanding, and even their essence in life is right here, and I really adore it. I've read about the first chapter, I think, and I've written some notes on it. I'll show you what I've done. So that's what most of the pages look like. I have just sectioned an example that I think is really good, but I want to be able to read through really easily of my favorite points that James makes. So yeah, there are all the books that I got. They're my 21 books for my 21st birthday. That was completely unplanned. But yeah, I hope you really liked this. I don't normally get this massive amount of books. I will usually go to the library or just get like maybe 5 books at a time, but definitely not all together. And so I'm really excited that I can just go to my shelf and pick out a book that I'm interested to read in and not have to wait, which is really exciting and something new. But yeah, I'll keep you updated on how I'm liking A Court of Thorns and Roses, although I truly do think that it's going to be a 5-star series for me. And yeah, I hope you really liked this. I hope you really liked this vlog. Yeah. If you did like it, do you want to subscribe and like, and maybe even leave a comment if you've read any of these books, what you think of them, if there's any books that you didn't like that I do have in my collection now, or books that you loved and that you would read over and over again. I'm really interested to hear, and bye-bye for now.